Hi guys, welcome back to YouTube, and I've got a brand new video for you today. Last week I posted on my Instagram story a questions tab, and I wanted you to send me questions that you wanted answering in this video, so here we are. Questions about technique, questions about myself, anything. I said you could ask me anything. Let's get on to the next tee and see what questions we have for you guys. So question here on Instagram to get us going, early starter or even in tee time? For me, definitely early. I'll always prefer, especially when playing tournament golf as a junior and into the amateur game and professional, I prefer to get the round in, get out there early, and then get in the clubhouse and relax and watch the scores come in. I don't really like waiting around, so late afternoon tee time is no good for me. So I prefer getting out there early. Let's give this one a whack. Good. Yeah, I've got another question here on Instagram. Would you prefer to be a professional golfer or be a caddy and a full-time coach for a professional golfer? Good question that. So I'm guessing this is relating to being a tour professional or being a full-time coach and a caddy for a tour professional. If I was going to choose one or the other, it'd probably be playing. I mean, everybody growing up, especially in my position, wanted to play usually. But everybody's journey into golf does start with playing, so I can never take that kind of side away from me. I always enjoy playing. I quite like the balance that I got now. I coach for a living and I also play occasionally to professional events and casually, so I enjoy what I do now, but if I was going to pick one or the other, it'd probably be playing, yeah. So another brilliant question this. Do you think amateurs work on what they are good at too much and not what they are bad at? I think there's definitely some scope for us as golfers. We love comfort. We love the day before a medal, going to the golf range, hitting balls until we're comfortable and we feel like we've nailed it, we feel like we've got a feel or we've grooved something in for the next day. And how often do you get to the next day or you get to the medal and then it's not there? We've all of a sudden lost whatever we've had because we practice repetitiveness and we practice comfort, and then we kind of get in a bit of a pickle with finding that the next time we come around to play. So I do think golfers practice what they're comfortable doing, and they don't practice enough in an uncomfortable mindset where they feel a little bit of discomfort from the task, whether that's a bad lie or a sloping lie that they're not very good at. I definitely feel there's gains to be made from golfers practicing in an uncomfortable zone or uncomfortable mindset, yes. Okay, another brilliant question this on Instagram. Most important skill to learn in your opinion, face control, path control, etc., and why? For me, the hardest thing to control is the club face, because this is what can change the most due to wrist angles, forearms, grip, etc. So the face is, for me, and for majority of golfers that I see coaching, the face is the hardest thing to control. I would say that if a player is able to control the path and get that a little bit more consistent in terms of a certain direction, whether that be into out path, out to in path, then they will see one shot shape happen a little bit more often. For example, if the path is too near zero and the face is either open slightly or closed slightly, then the ball is likely to go off in the direction that the face is aiming. So I would say if you can get a path, the majority in a certain direction, and then kind of control the face in relation to that, you're going to see a lot more of the same ball flight. Brilliant question on Instagram here. When I'm having lessons, should I take my swing thoughts onto the course or trust that practice is making my swing better and just swing the club? I definitely believe that for a lot of golfers, practice is too different to the golf course. Personally, from my past experience, I've always managed to play better. When I think of the best rounds of golf that I've ever had, I've always played better when I've had just maybe one swing thought. So that might be, it's usually a backswing feel as well, so maybe just a little takeaway position, so getting the club outside my hands, or it might be toe end of the golf club up in the air, maybe just one thought. If you get clogged up on the golf course with a number of different thoughts. Again, it's going to fry your brain. When you get onto the course, like we can see out here, you've got all sorts of things. You've got slope, you've got wind, you've got playing partners, you've got ground conditions, you've got absolutely everything to contend with on the golf course. So less in your swing is going to have a little bit better transference when you come out onto the golf course, and you've got to factor in all these different elements. So definitely trust that what you're doing on the range is going to start to implement itself to your swing on the golf course, as long as you're exaggerating whatever you're working on with your coach. But yeah, I'd say try and have less on the course if you can. That's going to give you a bit more of a free mind and allow you to play a bit better golf. Good question. Will you bring back the golf course content? Hopefully in the new year, or maybe even sooner. I'm going to be doing a lot more matches and a lot more on-course stuff, just to get a little bit of a personal look at what I do. And I do think that people enjoy seeing that more relaxed side of videos, definitely playing golf. So yeah, I'll be definitely doing a lot more stuff on the golf course in 2022. Question off Facebook now. Do you have any coaching methods or preferences? For me, I'm not a method coach, so I don't teach a certain method or style of swinging the golf club. I like doing my own research and picking at different parts of other people's methods, if that makes sense, and possibly applying them to certain scenarios as long as they match up with what we want to do with that player, and if they're capable of doing that, and matching that up with their ball flight. Preferences, I have certain preferences for certain ball flights. So if a player, for example, comes to me with quite a strong grip, I don't necessarily mind that strong grip as long as it matches with what we want to do with the ball flight. If a player has a strong grip and a pretty strong club face with lots of speed, then I'd be trying to match that up with more body turn or more body rotation at impact. That same player's strong grip, strong club face, if they have lots of release and the body stalls, again, that's probably going to cause them to have a certain characteristic with their ball flight. So I do like lining certain things up, but personally, no, I don't have any methods that I coach everybody. I feel like everybody's individual, everybody's got their own way of swinging, and we just try and match that up to the individual and what we want to see with the ball flight. So I hope that answers that question. Another great question here on Facebook: are trigger points important or just bad habits? I don't think a trigger point at all is a bad habit, no. A trigger point usually is what someone uses to gain comfort, or for example, just to start the golf swing. So you see someone like Matthew Wolff, who has a little bit of a kind of a hip turn at the start, and then he brings the golf club back. Someone like Matt Fitzpatrick as well, he has a little bit of a shuffle. Stenson, he moves a little bit off the ball to initiate his golf swing. So they're definitely not bad habits. Golfers can use them well to, for example, initiate a move. But yeah, I think trigger points are important. They may provide you with some sort of comfort to be able to start your golf swing in the right way that you want, in the way that you want to. Question here off Facebook again: how many types of swings should a player have? So really, we want one golf swing. We might change our technique ever so slightly. For example, for a driver, we might be trying to change the condition or change the way that golf club impacts the ball, but our whole golf swing shouldn't really vary too much. There might be certain setup changes that you make, or certain things that you want to see with different golf clubs, but really the core of that golf swing should stay the same. The technique will change for the shot in hand, but the overall way that you move shouldn't really change. That's going to make things complicated for you. If you're going on the golf course with a number of different golf swings, it may make it harder and it may confuse you a little bit on the golf course. So I'd probably stick to one if you could, but then change your setup, change your technique slightly to aid what's required for the golf shot. So this is a very good question. What is the biggest thing you see stopping amateurs like me? And like me, this player I know because I coach him, plays off, I think 12, don't quote me, I think 12. So pretty good golfer, getting to scratch. And now, I mean, that is quite a few golf shots. That's a difference between shooting, say, 82 and 70. So it's quite a lot of golf shots. I think if you go look at the levels, so if you look at, say, 100 shooters to 90 shooters to 80 shooters to 70 shooters, for me, it's not always about how good the good golf is, it's how good the bad golf is. So when you're not playing too well and you need to make a score, it's being able to do that without your A game. So maybe if you're having a tough time, you still manage to scrap it out and make a score. I think when I see players which have quite high scores, so say maybe the 80 to 90 shooter, it's the amount of bad holes that there are on the scorecard and the damage limitation. I think once you get to a certain level, maybe once you get to single figures, the technique, there's only so much that you can improve the technique. You're going to start hitting it well regardless, but it's how you actually manage yourself and the decisions that you make when you're on the golf course. So I would say the difference between, say, a 12 handicapper getting down to 0 would be, again, improving that bad shot, getting that bad shot dispersion tighter. If you had 20 balls with a 9-iron, how wide is that shot pattern? Is it 20 yards right, 120 yards left, or are all those drawing and going into that 10-yard gap? So it's tightening up the dispersion. That will get you close to the hole, essentially. And then it's probably a case of improving your short game inside 100 yards. When you miss a green, can you chip it close? Can you make the putt? Therefore, the dispersion gets a bit tighter with the irons, and then you eventually may start holing the putt. So it's giving yourself the chance at making a birdie. And again, I always come back to this. I'd say driving it long and straight is probably up there in the pyramid of things that I see in this day and age the better golfers do. So long and straight off the tee, tight dispersion, awesome short game, and giving yourself chances to make birdie. Question here on Instagram, what golf clubs do you use? Well, why not? Why don't I do a quick what's in the bag?